Hi, I'm Rochelle Fowler. I'm in the CAPS 200 class, and this is my video on what I got out of the course. In the beginning, we did the Colby Kite Learning Scale, and after taking the test, it put me into the Mode 3, which is the active learner. This didn't really surprise me at all. In school, I always thrive on hands-on courses, science courses. I took as many science courses and chemistry courses and anatomy courses that I could. It was usually the English um, and math that I had a lot harder time in, um, where it's more kind of problem solving out of a textbook, reading material, and having to pull information out of it. And I've always struggled with that. But out of that, I also know that those are the areas that I need to work on and have kind of ideas on how I can maybe work to strengthen myself in some of those areas, so that I kind of can be a more well-rounded learner, um, which I think definitely will benefit me, especially taking online courses, where most of my learning isn't hands-on. It's sitting at a computer and reading a textbook and working through the problems myself. Um, the other part where we talked about what kind of a learner we were, I got that I was an auditory, which just kind of surprised me because I thought that I might get more of the same score that I did before as kind of a doer, a hands-on learner. Um, but this really made a lot of sense because I I really prefer to be in a classroom. Um, I have mostly online classes right now, but I have one class actually at the school, and I learn more in that class just by having the instructor reading through the problems, reading through sections of the textbook. I find myself reading out loud when I'm at home, especially if I'm stuck, um, and I need to really try to work through a problem. I'll say it out loud. My husband laughs at me a lot about that. Um, I have also found that some of my classes that I take online, there are actually PowerPoint presentations that go along with the book, that actually have audio with them. And I just discovered this about 2 weeks ago, and it has probably been the best thing that I have found um, since I've been back at school to help me with these online classes. And it's kind of silly because the voice really is only reading the notes of the PowerPoint, which I could read myself. Um, but I'm grasping so much more of it by listening to this voice read me the notes from the PowerPoint presentation. So that has been a great help, and it's been very interesting to me to see how much better I can absorb the information when I'm hearing someone say it out loud. Um, the the part of the class that I would say I've taken the most from was the APA writing. I have not written a paper since I was in high school, so it's been over 12 years since I've written a paper. And I realize now that I was not really following um, any kind of guideline when I was writing a paper. The flow of my papers were not great. Um, I can see now where I was really bouncing around from one thing to another. My formatting was, um, I won't say it was terrible, but it definitely wasn't something that I'm proud of now when I look back at it. And it's just been very interesting to me um, how much better a paper sounds when I really take the time to really outline it and really focus on that and making sure that I'm not jumping from one place to another. And I have actually already been able to use this because about a week ago I had to turn in a paper for my history class and they wanted it in the APA formatting. So I was really able to, one, submit the paper like it needed to be submitted because I had no idea what that formatting was until I read about it in this class. So that was definitely a big help for me. Um, and really, that kind of ties into with the critical thinking, especially for me. A lot of times, my problem solving needs to be what to do. I have a hard time narrowing things down, picking topics to write about, picking what is the most important um, subjects within that topic, how I'm going to present the material, how I want my paper to sound, how I want my paper, to feel, and that kind of goes into with the 10 steps of writing and how to walk through those and how to narrow ideas down, how to really focus in, writing out a lot of stuff. Put everything down on paper and then from there try to figure it out. Instead of me sitting and staring at a wall trying to figure out what I want to do and how I'm going to do it and how in the world I'm going to make it sound um, like a college paper and not like a seventh grader is writing it. So these things definitely are going to benefit me, especially as I go into English Comp, which is probably the one class that terrifies me more than anything else because I have always been terrible at writing papers, and I just believe that I would always be terrible at writing papers. I just kind of thought it was something that you were either good at or you weren't. So I never really put um, any emphasis on myself to learn how to write a good paper. Um, so those are things that I'm hoping will help me, especially in my English comp class, but even now in my history class that I'm taking, I can already see that um, that's going to help me a lot, especially having to write papers on topics that I really am not interested in. It definitely makes it harder to write those papers when I, I really have no interest in what I'm having to write about. I'm not that impressed with the topics that I'm having to choose from. But being able to get past that and just really getting into the material, finding out what's important, and making it into a good paper because it is possible to do that. I just have to train myself to do it. Um, and then time management. I I really realized that um, I do not have any time set aside for myself. I do watch some TV. Usually, though, it's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, SpongeBob, stuff where I am sitting down with my kids and relaxing and watching TV. Um, I love to read, and I find that I'm really not even setting aside time for that anymore, except for like during breaks at work when I have 20 minutes to just kind of sit down and decompress. I'll read then, but um, I think if I would focus on um, setting aside study time where I can't get distracted by my kids, I think I could really eliminate some of the time that I'm having to spend studying. There's days that I spend literally 5 or 6 hours studying, but I only get probably 2 hours worth of work out of it because I'm having to get up and get something for my kids, or my phone rings, or there's just so many distractions that if I could really leave my house and go study at the library for 2 hours, I think there's ways that I could um, fix my schedule, give myself more time, allow myself to have quality time with my family. Maybe I have to be gone more, but the time that I'm actually here at home, I'm actually spending it with them, spending time with them, good quality time with them, not 5 minutes in between 20 minutes of reading and then 5 minutes of answering questions, or um, just not being able to give them my full attention because I'm distracted by trying to do my homework and worrying about deadlines. And so after putting my schedule into a calendar, I really see um, places where I can make changes that are going to benefit me and be better for me, and hopefully eliminate some of my stress and eliminate some of the guilt I feel for not spending time with my kids. So this class, while I can say I wasn't very excited about taking it, it's definitely shown me a lot of things that I probably would have never even realized without um, them being brought to my attention, which is what this class did. It brought this stuff to my attention, and it forces me to, work through it and make some changes. And I am excited to see um, how I can apply all of these things to my life. So, thank you.